Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to discuss one of the most important provisions of the Indian Constitution, that is Article 14, which guarantees the right to equality. So, these right to equalities are given in the fundamental rights which are enumerated in the part 3 of the Indian Constitution. Okay, so let us begin the Article 14. So what does Article 14 states? The Article 14 states that the state shall not deny any person equality before the law or equal protection of the law within the territory of India. So what does this mean? That Article 14 is for any person, okay? Which means that a person could be a citizen of India or a non-citizen. A person could include a legal person, statutory corporations, the companies, registered societies, or any kind of legal person. Okay. Now, what is equality before law or equal protection of law? Let us see. These are the two important words that are mentioned in the Article 14. Okay. Now let us understand them one by one. So what is equality before law? It is a concept which has been taken by the English common law. Okay. That is, it has a British origin. And it is also based on the rule of law which was given by A.V. Dicey. Okay. So now, if we try to understand the meaning of equality before law, that which means that everyone is equal before the law. Okay, have you seen that lady which holds the lady of the law, which holds a tarazu and is blindfolded? So that lady represents the equality before law. Okay, that means that everyone, may it be a king or a poor person, a powerful person or a powerless person, be it a man or a woman, or a person of any race, religion, or caste, anyone, that is equal before the law. Okay. Now let's see the rule of law given by Dicey. Okay. So Dicey has given 3 elements to explain the rule of law. Okay. So the first one is that no person can be punished except for the breach of law, which is being established through the ordinary legal process. Okay. So in simple words, we can say that a person cannot be punished if he has not done a breach of law. Okay. So the second element that Dicey has given is every person, regardless of the status, is, maybe he is poor, maybe he is very wealthy, maybe irrespective of the status, he shall be equal subject to the ordinary land of law. Okay. So the third element now, what Dicey has given is that the individual rights are protected by the courts and the constitution is based on these rights. Okay. However, the first and the second elements of Dicey's rule of law are applicable to the Indian Constitution, but the third rule is not applicable to the Indian Constitution because it states that the individual right is a basis of the Constitution. However, in India, it is not applicable because in India, Constitution is the basis or the source of the individual rights. Okay. So now, let us come to the second part, that is equal protection of the law. So this concept is borrowed from the American Constitution. Okay. So the basic principle states that the people who are in the same situation or are in the same circumstances are treated equally. In simple words, we can say that the equals must be treated equally. Okay. However, the unequals must not be treated equally. So what is this? Let us learn this from an example. Okay. So do you remember the famous Porsche case wherein a minor was involved in an accident causing the death of few people? Okay. So he was given a very less punishment. While if an adult would have been involved in any such kind of accident, would have been given a very harsh punishment. Okay. So what is this? We have studied that there is equality before law, everyone is equal in front of the law. So according to that, the minor also should be given the same punishment, but it was not that. The it is because we also have in the article 14 the equal protection of law. That is, the unequals must not be treated equally. This is because the children who commit offenses, they are treated differently from adults because they are considered to have a different level of maturity and understanding. Okay, we will take another example. The Women Reservation Act that was passed. So why are the women given a reservation? So that is because the equals must be treated equally and the unequals must not be treated equally. Okay. These are the some protections that are given to certain vulnerable groups. Okay. If we treat everyone equally, irrespective of their situations or their conditions, then actually we will be giving them we will actually produce inequality. Okay. So the next we should know in the equal protection of law is that does Article 14 prohibit all kinds of classification, or it does not prohibit all classifications? Okay. So the state can classify people into different groups for different purpose of legislation. Okay. But the classification must be reasonable. Okay. So this means that it does not prohibits all kinds of classifications. There could be classifications, but the classifications should be reasonable. Okay. For classification to be valid, it should also have a rational basis and it should be connected with the objective of law. For example, the punishment given to a person. Okay, if a person has committed a murder, we will take a simple example. A person deliberately commits murder and another person causes murder or commits a murder while he was acting in self-defense. Okay. Should both situations receive exactly the same punishment? Obviously not. The circumstances in both the cases are different. Okay. And in fact, if we treat them identically, this would be unfair. So this is the essence of reasonable classification that is mentioned in the Article 14. So equals and unequals that are treated same is also discrimination. Okay. Aristotle has also said that equals must be treated equally and unequals must not be treated equally. So we can now, moving on, we can say that the equality before law is a negative concept and equal protection of law is a positive concept. Why is it so? Because under the equal protection of law, it is given that we should do something, and in equality before law, it is a negative concept because it is told here that not to do something. Okay. Now let us see that this rule of equality is absolute or not. No, the rule of equality is not absolute. Article 14 is not absolute. Okay, that means that it has some exceptions to it. So first one is under Article 361, the President of India and the governor enjoys certain immunities from the court proceedings. Okay, so what are these? What does this mean? It means that there are a few immunities that the president and the governor enjoys. These are, first one that they enjoy is that there shall be no criminal proceedings against them while they are in the tenure of their office. Okay. There is no process of arrest or imprisonment of the president or the governor during their term of the office. Okay. These now next one what we see is that under Article 361A, then no person shall be punished for publishing a true report of parliamentary or state legislature proceedings. So this is a kind of a safeguard that is provided to the publishers, to the journalists, so that they can publish the true view of the parliament or and the state legislature proceedings. Okay. So next one is under Article 105 and 194, the members of the parliament and state legislatures enjoy certain privileges for what they say or do inside the house of its committees. Okay, so you would have seen that the members of the parliament or the state legislatures, while the house proceedings are going on, they say very harsh words, or very sometimes they say some words that should not be said. So there could not be any proceedings that could be done against them, because because under Article 105 and 194 it is mentioned that they have these certain privileges. Okay, so next one is under Article 31C, laws made to implement certain DPSPs cannot be challenged on the ground that they violate Article 14. Okay. Another one is foreign diplomats and sovereigns also enjoy diplomatic immunity from civil and criminal proceedings. Okay, foreign diplomats and the sovereigns, they also have they are also immune to civil and criminal proceedings. Okay, I hope you have understood this. Now we will see, I'll show you an image which states that what equality actually means. So here you can see in the first one, everyone of different heights are given same kind of a platform to stand on. Okay, so this is equality. This means that everyone is equal. But however, here the person who requires more of a platform is given a higher platform to climb, and the person who does not require a platform is not given one. This is actual equality that is mentioned in our constitution. This means that the unequals should not be treated equally. This is what this image depicts. Okay. Now we'll have a quick revision of the entire topic. So moving on to the starting, what we have studied, what does Article 14 guarantees? Article 14 guarantees the equality before law and equal protection of laws. So equality before law is a concept of the British origin, and what equal protection of law is a concept of American origin. Equality before law is based on the rule of law which was given by Dicey. Okay, and it is also a negative concept, and one more thing, the rule of law, that is also the base. The Supreme Court has held that the rule of law is a basic feature of the Constitution, hence it cannot be amended. Okay, now moving on to the equal protection of law, we have seen that it is borrowed from American Constitution, and everyone should be the equal should be treated equally, and it also allows, the Article 14 allows reasonable classification, and it prohibits the arbitrary discrimination and class legislation. Okay, other than that, the equality does not mean the equal treatment. It means that unequals should must not be treated equally. Okay, so this was it, and at the end we have read the few exceptions to Article 14. So that's it for today. Thank you so much. This was our discussion on Article 14 of the Indian Constitution.